Hello everybody, my name is Skybound.
Thanks.
And we've just got finished watching episode 16 of Steins Gate. And a lot happened.
Well, yeah, because for starters, it sounds like that the time, well, essentially, first thing we found out was the father of part-time warrior, Suza, yeah, was basically the person we thought it was all along. We were able to put two and two together and actually get something correct then. But the thing is, the chances are she won't know that because he's had to go back and actually tell her. Well, what did he send in that message? Was it to him to not send the original message? Or to send a message saying, oh, just ignore what I originally sent? Or, like, what did he send in that message?
I don't remember if it actually sort of showed what he sent. It would have been something that prevented her from going to the sort of meetup thing to see her dad, which meant she would have.
So basically, she had the choice of either seeing her dad or actually making a difference to the world. I mean, we don't know whether that IBM machine is now back where it originally was because of that change he's made. Because if she's gone back in time and moved that machine back to the shrine, I mean, that would explain why, when he stopped her from leaving the first time, that the machine disappeared, because she would have to go back in time to get that machine in the first place. I bet you that's what's happened. I bet you because she's actually gone back in time like she originally planned on doing, and he didn't stop her from doing so, and he's now got the IBM machine, and therefore that's the reason why the numbers move further away from zero and further away from CERN getting control of it, because it seems like that number, if it gets close to zero, the closer it is to them actually making a change, essentially.
Well, I think this was the first time the numbers have changed for a good few episodes now.
Yeah.
Which is a potential sign, but that's also a pretty interesting thing, because it means, despite the fact that he sent a D-mail, he must have sent a D-mail to cancel out another D-mail, which increased the number. So,
but the question is does he now still have that the time leap machine? I think it's time leap. Can't remember. It's been a few weeks since we've watched that episode.
I think so. I mean,
it looks like that machine's no longer there. I don't know.
It depends. Like, I guess we'd have to wait until another episode that might feature it.
But could it be that it gets to the point where he eventually cancels out him ever making a time machine, and therefore he won't ever have this problem ever happen? Because it was his original emails being sent back, the one he didn't even realise was being sent back in time, that alerted CERN to its existence in the first place. And that's the reason why that time machine ended up in their timeline in the first damn place, because it was coming back to try and stop it from all happening.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility, but it's one of those things where anything could.
Well, it could. That's the thing with this. This is what happens with time travel. Anything is almost possible. I mean, for finding out that, you know.
Obviously, the main goal is to try and get to that 1% divergence, to get those numbers up in there, and they are kind of getting there. Well, they're sort of slowly easing themselves up, at least. They've got from 0.33 something to 0.4 something, so they're getting closer. I'm guessing over the next few episodes they're going to start moving up again somehow, or they're going to figure out how it is that they managed to trigger that number going up, and they're going to work on getting it closer to 1.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like we're getting more and more answers, really, because we've got the answer of how on earth stopping. Oh God, I can never remember part-time warrior's actual name. Suza. Yeah, Suza. Basically, the reason why Suza, the reason why that machine, the IBM machine, didn't exist in the present, or at least wasn't accessible to them, was because she never went back in time. I'm sure that's the reason why. because it would explain why that machine disappeared around that. I think it was around about the same time. I can't remember exactly, but the point is, it could have caused that machine not to be in that shrine. Because if she gave that machine to the people in the shrine, then he would actually have it and be able to hack in there before CERN managed to hack into them.
I mean, one of the other interesting things is the fact that the time machine itself was a future gadget.
Yeah, well, that in itself is interesting.
So
But the question is whether it still is a future gadget. I mean, I suppose, well, no, because it would still be a future gadget, it just went back in time. So even still, it seems like actually creating that machine in the first place. But if it went back in time before she met her dad, then that means he wouldn't actually have that knowledge to start off with. So he must develop that knowledge on his own. Or otherwise that machine in itself wouldn't exist. So he doesn't need to see the machine in order to build it then. That's basically one thing we can infer from this. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to go back in time in the first damn place.
Well, he did manage to fix it without knowing what it was.
But my point was, is it could have been that him knowing that knowledge by fixing it could have led to him building the damn thing in the first place, but it's quite clearly not the case, because it still exists regardless of him not knowing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just timey-wimey theorising at the moment.
It's a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, in the words of the Doctor.
I think it's more than just that.
But
It's several timey-wimey balls of stuff at this point.
But it's definitely sort of curious what's going on at the moment, I guess.
Well,
Sort
we're
of
getting
see
more
what happens in
answers, let's
future
put it that way.
episodes.
We're getting more and more answers. I mean, how many more episodes have we got to go through at this point?
Well, this was episode 16, so we have, I want to say 8 or 9.
Wait, seriously? There's still that many? Good God.
I'm pretty sure it's a 25 episode season.
Jesus.
Because I think that was, but I think
There's
that
a lot
also,
more room to wiggle then in that case when this goes.
But there is also, I'm pretty sure one of those episodes is kind of one that is intended to sort of stem off to Steins Gate 0. So,
Oh, right. Yeah.
but that's called something like episode number 0.5 or something, from what I understand. So we'd be able to pretty easily distinguish that from the others and avoid watching that until after, I guess.
Yeah, well, I suppose
if we do end up going to watch Steins Gate 0 after this, we'd probably kind of save watching that episode until...
I don't know, because to be honest, if we're watching this... The thing is, if we were watching this before that series came out, we would have still seen that episode if we were going through this watch. It's only because of the newest one coming out that we haven't actually decided to watch it. I don't know. We'll think about it when we get to that bridge, I think. So.
Yeah. Anyway, for the time being, yeah, I guess we will just see what happens in terms of moving those numbers up, getting those numbers up in the future episodes. I can't really think of anything.
I don't think we can think of.
Really.
I don't think we can think of anything else to say, because there was a lot to go through there, and honestly, I think it just gave us more. It's not really gave us many questions, just answered quite a few things, and there isn't really much we can think of what else to say, so we might as well just hear really. So I mean, we still can't give it a score because, well, we still haven't seen it all in its entirety, and as we said before, we're not going to make that judgment until the end. We're just going to judge the entire series as a whole. So anyway, I've been Starflux,
Skybound,
and we'll see you next time.
See ya.